Welcome back to the TSL4, everybody. We're about to go on to the next map between Life and Keen, which is Entombed Valley. So let's talk a little bit about Entombed Valley. On the stats here, it does say 45 to 55 in favor of Zerg. But I've played a lot on this map, and I'm sure you have as well. Terran players feel comfortable. This is a map where you can get away with an economy-focused style of play, which everyone wants to be at.
Yeah, definitely. But Keen, as we've mentioned before, he hasn't been doing much economy. Historically, in his career, he's been a very aggressive player. And as far as 2-Rax maps go, I feel like I've seen more 2-Raxes on Entombed than any other map in this pool.
Yeah, this is a great map for it, of course. Force cross positions on the TSL version, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to know exactly where his Zerg opponent is. Another thing to keep in consideration, the longer this game goes on, is as much as a good economy start you can have as a Terran player, the fights become really difficult because in the center, God, it's so wide open. There are so many flanking maneuvers for Zerg to attack you from. And if you just lose focus for one flank for 1 second, then your entire army can be fungal, can be swarmed. So it's going to be a very tense map for sure. It could be over very fast, it could be a very long one, depending on how these want to play it out. So any last thoughts on this map before we jump into it?
No, man, let's just get this started.
Alright, let's do it. Let's load into Entombed Valley. Alright, on Entombed Valley, we have arrived, we are here, we're ready to see, is this series going to extend, or is it going to fall short of the mark here if Keen drops the ball? So we'll find out as we introduce one of our players. In the top left, we have the red Zerg player. It is none other than StarTale's Life.
And in the bottom right, as far away as he can be, our blue Terran, he's only got one win. He has to win the next 3 if he wants to move on. His idea is MVP Keen.
MVP Keen. Lovely player. Very nice Terran player to base your play off if you like an aggressive style of play, as Autosis did say. But let's see what we're going to do. We don't see off that very early SUV already leaving, so he may not be aiming for a double 11. But even on this map as well, not just an 11-11, very similar to how you explained on Ohana, you can get away with 12-14 on this map and fall back on an expansion play just as well.
Oh, definitely, and you can make that nice barracks wall if you like as well. You can, obviously go into mech if you want. There's a lot of options to play on this map, but he's in the really far spots. So if he just randomly chooses to go for, a little bit more regular play, that's going to behoove him.
Alright, we'll have to see what's going to work out here, but in terms of Life and the position Life is in, 3-1 is a good lead to be in, and to be honest, in that position, once you're leading 3-0, no matter what happens in game number 4, you don't really care. Of course, if it's a win, you probably do care a lot more, but if it's a loss, you say whatever. You move on to the next map. You've got a cushion. You've played well in game 1, 2, and 3. You've enabled you to make mistakes. You've enabled your opponent to take a game here and there, and you're always going to be on match point till the very end map, which is such a position to be in where you can sit back, relax, breathe, and just feel comfortable in how things are going.
Yeah, you know what? In the current metagame of Zerg vs. Terran, I feel like if you're on match point in a best of 7, you could actually do, like, let's say a Roach Baneling all-in every single game, and statistically speaking, the way that Terrans vary their builds, I feel like you're just going to pick up the set. So, yeah. Keen has, like, the tallest mountain to climb to actually win here.
Alright, well, let's see if we can do it here, because it's going to be a difficult one. We have one Barracks Command Center down, gas taken immediately in the main. We'll see if he does take that second one as well. Yeah, I guess you suppose he should do, but he does get the scout with the SUV, sees the hatchery down, will enter the main base, spawning pool down. Let's have a look at the gas. Gas is not down, excellent. Second gas not down either, and that's going to be a nice position for Keen to be in, knowing that his opponent doesn't have the aggression on the cards. But even though we are seeing 8 links being built.
And, this is another map that is actually really nice for Hellion Banshee. So that has to make me wonder, will Life maybe do the Muta Rush again? But he's only getting 1 gas in his main, so it looks like he's going to play this map a lot more normally than he did on Cloud Kingdom.
Another 2 lings as well, so a total of 10, and this is not normal, and I really think he's banking on that bunker not being there. When that bunker completes, this is really shut down. It's in a great position. Keen didn't cut any corners. He even saw the lings running across the map now with that SCV in the center, so, you know, that's a big investment to build that many lings this early on.
Yeah, it definitely is, and Keen, look at this, he's not cutting as many corners as before, so it's already completely shut down. These lings can do literally nothing, so that's... You know, you always want at least 2 lings. That's 2 to 3 drones less that he could have right now.
That's a good start, I suppose you could say, for Keen in terms of how things are mapped out so far. But what is Life going to do with this gas? He is approaching 100 now. He can immediately go speed. He could go for super fast layer. He could throw down a second gas and go roach bailing. A lot of options available for Life. He gets speed, he takes out, he leaves it alone. And are we going to see a straight up game from both of these guys?
Nope. Nope, we're going to see double factory here from Keen. This is something that he has done a lot in the past. He loves to factory Blue Flame Hellion with the reactor as well. And that's going to be a lot of pressure on a player that's already getting speed, showing that he wants to rely on speedlings instead of roaches for his defense.
Keen does not know about speed or gas being taken at all. I suppose he can imagine that it's going down right now, but speed's going to be out by the time these Hellions really get across, or should I say before Blue Flame is done precisely. But there is an overload in the bottom side. Marine is going to push it away, so that's no way he's going to really find out about this. And this could be what Keen needs.
Yeah, this is actually really lining up so well for him right now. And in fact, 4 queens out. Okay, so if he has 6 queens, he's going to do a lot better against us. With 4, he's going to want to have 1 in his main hatch, 1 in his natural. So he's going to basically be fighting against a ton of Blue Flame Hellions with 2 queens and a handful of speedlings and whatever spines he happens to make. That is not a good match.
Alright, we do have 1 spine coming down on the natural. The Overlord down at the south side is actually going to start to poke its way in. And it's bypassed the Marine. Such a smart Overlord movement. And it's going to try and hit towards that factory. And if he knows Blue Flame's coming, he knows that all he has to do is really defend here. But Blue Flame's on its way. 3 more Hellions are as well. And that Overlord's going to see it. He's going to see it.
Yeah, he is, and in fact, he even saw a Hellion run away from him, so that was a little bit sloppy by Keen, and now that he sees it, man, oh my god, the Roach Horn instantly dropping down for life, making a lot of lings, and I'd love to see him make another Spine Crawler as well.
Yeah, another Spine, just fortify the defense on the high ground, got decent creep spread, ignore the third base for now. Blue Flame Hellions don't put any threat onto that third base. Roaches will be out by the time anything's really dealt over there, so the concentration is really just defending that front line.
That's right. Now, we do have another spine. It's going to be formed over at that third base. The Hellions are in the middle. He has a very nice number of them, but Keen actually realizes that he's been scouted and instantly starts another command center. So even if this doesn't work, he's not out of the game yet.
No, he's not for sure, but you know, he definitely wants or is aiming to do damage here. He moves up this ramp. He's going to pick up a queen relatively easy. The Lings are very, very scared unless they get a full round. But look how many goddamn Hellions there are here.
That is a ton indeed. The Spine Crawler does not even get to finish. The 2 queen defense, as mentioned previously, not going to be any good against this many Hellions. And, I mean, that's it for the third base, most likely. I mean, he can go up there, deal a lot of damage to it, but wait a minute, we do have 7 roaches in production already. He may be able to save this yet.
Oh, 1 carelessly roach placed there, a second one as well, and just 2-3 hits by all these Hellions actually melts a roach here, and they are melting fast, and we have to get more roaches here. There has to be more picking off 1 Hellion, but there are 3 to 4 more coming across the map.
Oh my god, the Lings coming in, and the Hellions turn around. They do want to roast them, but it looks like there might be enough roaches here. No, he's going to go after him, still showing that Hellions can fight against roaches in the right circumstance, and in fact, roach speed and a Baneling Nest in the way. I think we're going to have a counterattack here by Life.
Yeah, he's starting to push this back. Instead of going back to that third base and joining, he's just going to go for a roach bailing attack here. But back at home, there's not really much there. He has not started tank production, which is the natural follow-up to this if he wants to be super safe against any possible follow-up. But right now, the roaches are actually picking off a lot of these Hellions. Does Keen really smell what's going on here? I suppose he should with the amount of roaches that are actually available.
Yeah, by seeing that many roaches, he has to know for sure that he's going to get attacked in a second here. But I don't see any bunkers going down. I don't see him taking any additional defenses. This is a terrible read here by Keen. And there we go. finally, as he sees everything moving out, some bunkers going down, but it might be too late.
Oh, especially if that supply depot in the wall actually doesn't complete, because he won't be able to repair it. The Hellions actually go for an attack, but there's even more units back defending, and Life could have actually just beaten Keen here. We're about to find out, because the front door is exposed. The tank is there, SCVs are being pulled, the supply depot doesn't finish, and the gates are open already.
Here come the Banelings. They are walking up here, but the Roach is stuck on the ramp right now, taking out that bunker very nicely. But there is a siege tank on the high ground, so Life has to be careful with these units, because he will eventually lose them.
And the bunkers do complete on the low ground, but there's nothing to actually put into them. And the Roaches and Banelings break down the supply depot on the high ground. A tank is done, a second one is soon to be, but the Hellions come back. Keen may have been able to hold this off for now, but he needs to close the front door.
Indeed he does. Another siege tank has popped out, and it looks like he will kill off everything that's here. But the Roaches have done a ton of damage. Look at these supplies, 104 to 66.
And more units streaming in. The Lings will die fast to these Hellions, but they're very, very weak, and a couple of Roaches still remain. Lings on the SCV line on the natural, and I don't think Keen can actually hold on to this, even though he's got a lot of SCVs in the main. More and more Roaches and Banelings have been streamed across, and Life is swarming the crap out of Keen.
So true. Look at this. Just constant Lings and Roaches and Banelings and just everything being made here. More and more Roaches come up the ramp, and it looks like, he's not going to be able to hold. Getting in, getting Circus Air on that tank, and GG! Life is going to the finals!
He's going to the finals, and he's beating Keen 4-1, and that racks up the tally of nerds killed here by Life. 3-2 versus Elfie, 3-0 Cass, 4-3 versus Curious, and now 4-1 versus Keen. It may have been a bit of a scrappy way to the finals, but it doesn't matter, he's there.
Indeed he is, this young, new talent that has just made it into Codes, has just made it to the finals of TSL. This is amazing, man. I mean, look at what happened to the players that got to the finals of the last TSL. Yeah. Nanoa and Thorazane. They had done a little bit, but now they're superstars. And I think the exact same is going to happen for Life.
And, I mean, you bring up a great point. For the first time ever, Life has secured his Codes spot for Season 4, starting on Monday, of course. And now he's in the finals of the TSL4. Guaranteed $7,000, playing for a total, maybe, if he's able to win, of 15. And, well, things are starting to look pretty good for this young guy.
Indeed they are, but who will he face? Creator or Sting?
I'm very excited for this matchup here, Otosis, Creator or Sting. Very, very excited for it. We'll have to find out who's going to be able to play. We'll break down the matchup. We'll break down the maps after this commercial break. So stay tuned. The second semi-final is coming your way.